Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel and welcome to a long overdue new pickups video. Now I have got a lot of games I've accumulated over the past 3 or 4 months I think since I did my last video. So let's jump straight into it and we shall start with, they're in no particular order, I'm probably going in bulk amounts I guess. So first off we have a PlayStation 3 game and we've got Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2. Now I did own this originally but you know we all trade games in and things like that. So I did eventually get rid of it. Just recently bought it back. Absolutely love this game. It's not as good as the first one. It's definitely a shoehorned in sequel because the first game was the biggest selling Star Wars game of all time. Next we have just some padding, just some PlayStation 2 filler. We have Friends, the one with all the trivia. Now I'm yet to play this, but I'm pretty damn sure I'm going to be quite good at it, just like every other person on the planet. So yeah, just a trivia game. Next, we've got some PlayStation 1 games. First off, I've got Beyblade. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I was a massive Beyblade fan back in the day. I used to buy the toys, and me and my friends used to, you know, use the Beyblade Battle Dome or whatever the hell they used to call it. And have also all sorts of fun. Right, Beyblade. Next, PlayStation 1 game, we have Star Wars The Phantom Menace. So the second Star Wars game I've managed to pick up. I am trying to collect as many Star Wars games as I can, even the terrible ones. I know there are a hell of a lot. This is pretty bad, pretty tedious, but there are slight parts in it which are quite fun. Next, the final PS1 game, and one of my favourite games ever on the PlayStation 1 is Digimon World, the original one. I do have Digimon World 2003 somewhere. I'll have to dig that out. But yeah, this one, unlike the later Digimon games, which are all turn-based RPGs, pretty much like the Pokemon games, this is more of a real-time cyber pet. If you remember the Tamagotchis, what came out in the mid to late 90s, which we were all addicted to, kind of play like that. Next, another Star Wars game is The Force Unleashed, the first one on the Wii. Now, I don't know why this happened, I don't know what their thinking was, but the story on the Wii version of The Force Unleashed, especially number 1, is a lot more padded out and complete than the PS3 version. No idea why. It's got a few extra cutscenes, a few things are jumbled around. The only difference is obviously that the graphics are quite lacking in comparison. Next, we have a solo GameCube game, which is Spider-Man 2. Now, I remember when this came out. I'm not a huge fan of Spider-Man. I enjoy the movies. I've watched the cartoons. But the games were quite good. Not Spider-Man 1, I didn't like that game. But this one, I think this was the first open-world Spider-Man game. I'm not too sure. I could be wrong, but I do remember spending a lot of time and sinking a lot of hours into playing that game. So that's Spider-Man 2. Next we have, we've got another Wii game here. We've got Endless Ocean. Now, I remember when this first came out, my mind was absolutely blown at how pretty it looked for a Wii game. Still does look good for a Wii game, and there's no overall story, there's no combat or anything like that. You're pretty much just a scuba diver, jump into the ocean, take photos of animals, log them down, things like that. Really fun. Next we've got another PS2 game actually. We've got Avatar: The Legend of Aang. Now I know it's not a good game, it's quite mediocre to the point of bad, but this is a review copy and I found it very cheap, and because I'm a Legend of Aang fanatic, I could not say no. Right, onto another Legend of Aang game. It's pretty much the same game, but for the DS. I found this recently for about £3. Again, I'm a massive Avatar fan. The DS version is actually quite fun compared to the PS2 version. So yeah, I will be playing that. So that's that. And now onto the absolute bulk. I've got a mountain of Dreamcast games. So we'll start off with some of the more mediocre games. First off, we have MSR, Metropolis Street Racer. Now, I did play a hell of a lot of this back when I had my Dreamcast originally. Absolutely loved it. It still looks okay for a Dreamcast game, and it's still a pretty fun racer as well. Very arcadey. Right, next we've got Vigilante 8, Second Offence. Now, I've not actually played this one yet. I did play the first one on PS1 for quite a while, but I wasn't a huge fan of it. It's pretty much just grab a vehicle, go into an arena, blow stuff up, that kind of stuff. Next we have Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation. Again, not a massive fan of the Tomb Raider games, only on the basis that I suck major arse at them. I remember first encounter with a Tomb Raider game was actually watching my uncle He played the hell out of them. He used to make it a party event. A new Tomb Raider game would come out, all of his friends would come round, they'd take over the living room, my auntie would be relegated into the kitchen talking with my mum and, you know, talking all kinds of woman crap. And my uncle and like 4 or 5 of his mates would just be sat around watching and playing Tomb Raider. Next we have another game by Eidos, and that is Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. Now I have played this, I've only played the demo of this, I've not actually played the full game, so I will be jumping in onto this. I'm really hoping I can get through my backlog of Dreamcast games, because I've got over 50 now, and I'm wanting to play through a hell of a lot of them. Next we have another favourite from my childhood. It's not good by any means now, but I loved it. Disney's Dinosaur. So you play as Aladar or any of the other characters from the Disney game. It's got RPG aspects, you level up your dinosaur, you learn new abilities, new attacks, things like that. I played so much of that, being a massive dinosaur nerd when I was younger. I had to pick that up again. Next, oh, excuse me. Next, by Crave Entertainment, we've got Tokyo Highway Challenge. The case is absolutely smashed. I've not actually played this, but graphically, it doesn't look actually that bad. It looks like it's got better graphics than Metropolis Street Racer. So I will give that a go at some point. Right, next on to another absolutely fantastic game, which I sunk loads of hours into, Ready to Rumble Boxing. Really hilarious parody type boxing game with the let's get ready to rumble, that dude, whatever he's called. But yeah, Ready to Rumble. Next we have Soul Calibur. Now I remember when this came out and it got announced as a console game that actually performed and looked better than its arcade counterpart, which was pretty unheard of, I think. Not too sure. I've never been a massive arcade goer. You know, I live in England. All of the arcades were on the coast, and I don't live on the coast. But yeah, Soul Calibur, really, really good fighting game. Nice roster of characters as well. Next up, we have a game by Konami. #FKonami. Nightmare Creatures 2, a game again I've not played, but I've heard nothing but very good things about. Apparently, it's really scary as well, so I'll definitely be checking it out with the lights on. Next we've got Outrigger. I found this at a very good price, in comparison to what it normally sells for, so I definitely had to buy Outrigger. Again, a game I've not played. Add that to the list. Next we have Power Stone. Now this is a game I have played and enjoy the hell out of it. It's a multiplayer brawler game with power-ups and things like that in an arena brawler, whatever you want to call it. It's very Super Smash Bros, I guess, but in a 3D plane instead of, you know, a side-scroller 2D plane. Yeah, very, very fun game, especially when you get your power-ups and you just rain ass on people. Next we have one of the few RPGs on Dreamcast, and that is Evolution, the World of Sacred Device. Now, I did have this originally, and I thought my version didn't work, so I went out and bought a second one, tested them both with a new cable, and it turns out the VGA thing on the back told me a little lie, because I'm pretty sure, I could be getting it wrong, I might have checked it with a SCART cable instead of VGA, but anyway, I've got 2 copies, so yeah, Evolution. It's a turn-based RPG, really cool little battle system, really fun story, I need to play that. Next we have another RPG, the second best RPG on the system for me, and that is Grandia 2, sequel to the PlayStation 1 game. It also came out on PS2 as well, but it's not sought after like the Dreamcast version is for some reason. But yeah, I think he's called Ryudo, and it's a standard fantasy, explore the world, kill bad guys RPG. But the cool thing about this is that besides the real-time graphics of the game, when you do special attacks and in cutscenes as well, obviously the cutscenes are animated, the attacks are also animated, the special attacks are animated in battles, which looks absolutely amazing. Playing through that at the minute, I think I'm about 20 hours into it. And the final game for today is a game that I did have when I was younger, but really didn't like it. I couldn't get into it, I found it very difficult, but now I've got it again, and that is Sword of the Berserk Guts Rage. A new anime has just come out, or is coming out, and it kind of piqued my interest to get it again and try it again, because I love watching anime. So I thought I'd try the game where it all started. So that's that. So that's my pickups for, what are we in? August 2016. I'll do another pickups video probably at the end of the year, because I very rarely buy games now. You know, life priorities and all that kind of rubbish. But yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. Please leave a comment. please leave a like, subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and I will talk to you in the comment section about any of these games. I would love to do that. So I'll see you next time.